It is windy as hell out here today. But let's see if we get redemption for the Springfield Ronin. Today we're trying out some Armscore 115 grain 9mm full metal jacket. Seems to be working. Welcome back to Sawtooth Tactical. Today I'm very happy to report that we have redemption for the Springfield Ronin 1911. I spent a lot of money on this pistol, and if you've been paying attention to the channel, you might have seen my review of it right after I first got it, and I was having some major issues. It was failing to extract quite a bit, and had me very concerned. For a $1,000 pistol, that didn't make me feel very confident in the Ronin. But things have changed. Things are looking much better. So I had to be fair to the Ronin, and at this point, I am very happy with this pistol. So before we get started on this video, I want to thank every one of you that has liked, subscribed, or shared these videos, and everyone that leaves me comments. If you notice, I do reply to them all, and I really appreciate every one of you guys. This thing is the softest shooting pistol I have ever experienced. Super accurate. So, if you've been paying attention to the channel, like I said, you've probably seen the video I put out on this when I first got it, in which it didn't perform really well. Now, the very first day I got it, I took it out and it worked flawlessly. And in fact, I even filmed a video comparing this to a CZ Shadow 2, and I felt like there was a very good comparison because both pistols are chambered 9mm, all metal, single action only, full size, pistols. Very similar in a lot of ways, and they both performed perfectly at the range. Well, the very next weekend, I went out to film the review of this pistol and just had issue after issue after issue with it. And it really bummed me out. I just spent a lot of money on this. I'd wanted this gun for a long time, and it was not performing the way that a high quality pistol should, which had me really worried. So anyway, I had to figure out what was wrong with it and what the issue was. I took it out a bunch of times. I came home, I cleaned it, oiled it, took it out again, cleaned it, oiled it, took it out again, put a bunch of rounds through it. But anyway, the very funny thing is that the day after I filmed the video that I put out where this was having so many problems was the 4th of July. And I went out shooting with a couple of friends of mine to celebrate the 4th of July in the way that every red-blooded American should, and that is by, exercising our Second Amendment rights. And between me and two friends of mine, we put 100 rounds through this gun, and not a single malfunction. The thing worked absolutely perfectly. And this was literally the day after I put the video out in which it had all those problems. So we're going to kind of do an updated video on this. This is the Springfield Ronin. It's a beautiful 1911. It has a stainless steel frame and a blued slide, hot salt blued. It's bead blasted on the rounds and polished on the flats on both the blued slide and the stainless steel frame, which gives it a really, really beautiful look in my opinion. It's got all of the features that an upgraded 1911 should have. It's got really beautiful wood grips with some nice texture in there, and the cross cannon Springfield Armory logo. It's got the skeletonized hammer, skeletonized what they call their speed trigger. It's got an extended safety, which has a very nice positive click to it. You definitely know when you're in safer fire. It's got a fantastic single action trigger. Very crisp break, short, audible, tactile reset. Fantastic trigger. Extended beaver tail with the memory bump on your grip safety so that you literally cannot not actuate your safety as long as you have a decent firing grip on the pistol. It's got 20 lines per inch checkering on the mainspring housing, which makes for a great grip. Now, it doesn't really have any checkering on the front strap there, but that bead blasting gives it enough of a texture to hold on to, and firing 9mm out of a full-size 1911, this thing has such little recoil that I've not found the lack of texture on the front strap to be an issue whatsoever. It's got front and rear slide serrations, which makes it really easy to run the gun from either the front or the back of the slide. And it's got great sights. It's got a fiber optic front sight with a 2-dot rear, 2 white dots to make kind of a 3-dot sight picture. It also has the tactical rack shape to it, so you can rack it, off of anything you want, one-handed, if you only have one hand available, if you're in some kind of situation like that. It is a full-size gun, government model 1911, so it's got a 5-inch barrel, and it's a stainless steel match-grade barrel. It does have a barrel bushing and no full-length guide rod, so it breaks down just like a traditional GI 1911. This thing is everything that I love in a pistol. It really is. I am extremely happy with this gun. But, like I said, I did have some issues at first. So I had to put out a video exonerating it. Or, just giving it a bit of a redemption story, because it is working great now. I put a few hundred more rounds in it since the last video. I've had one malfunction. It did have one failure to extract where I kind of had a little stovepipe issue. Cleared really easily, and the gun kept running. No other issues after that, and I will put that in this video so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me go up close real quick, and I'm going to show you what I think the issue was. So from here you can see what a beautiful pistol this really is. I love the two-tone look to it. Very classy, Springfield Armory with their Cross Cannons logo and just the word Ronin on this side, which is the name. And you can see up close just how good it looks with the stainless steel and the hot salt blade finish. But I'm going to break it apart for you guys. Just do field strip it real quick, and I'll show you what I think the issue is as far as what I can tell. So here we have the Ronin broke down. You can see it looks like any standard 1911. The only real difference between a 45 caliber 1911 and the 9mm is that you do have a fully supported ramped barrel in there. Other than that, the frame is slightly different just to support that 9mm barrel instead of a 45 ACP barrel. But what I think I found the issue to be, and pardon it being a little dirty, I have been shooting it a lot, as you should with any pistol that you own. If you see on the ejector there, you see those circles from the, so this has a forged steel frame slide and forged barrel, but some of the other smaller parts are cast. And the ejector is one of them. And so those circles there are from the casting process. And what I think was happening is when the slide was reciprocating, it was kind of catching on those. They were a little bit rough, and I believe that that's what the issue was. Sometimes I think the slide wasn't coming all the way back, and I do think it had something to do with the ammo that I was running that day as well, because since then, I've ran a lot of this PMC bronze through it without any issues whatsoever. I've also put 100 rounds of this arms core through it with only one failure to extract. So as long as I've been running decent ammunition through it, haven't had a problem. Now, the ammunition that I did have an issue with was some decent enough ammo. Federal, 115 grain full metal jacket, 9mm. Not sure why that ammo specifically gave me an issue, but it seems like that is the only ammo that I really have had much of an issue with. Although, With the PMC, I did have some problems as well at first, though they seem to have smoothed themselves out. I've put a lot of rounds through it, and I've run the slide a lot, and I've cleaned it, 4 or 5 times now. And I think that it just kind of needed a bit of a break-in period to smooth out that ejector so that the slide could reciprocate back and forth smoothly and, and function the gun. In order for the thing to cycle properly, the slide has to be pushed all the way to the rear in order to eject the spent casing, and it has to be able to come forward very fast in order to pick up a new round and chamber it. If you ever notice when you're using any pistol, if you ride the slide home, it will induce a malfunction rather than if you just rack it back and let go and let it run forward very quickly. And so I think the fact of the slide getting caught on a couple of those rough spots on the ejector is what was causing it to have all those malfunctions. I'm pretty sure that's what the issue is, and I'm pretty sure that it has just been smoothing out, and I'm no longer having those issues, which I'm very happy to report about. So before we go back up top, let's just have one more close-up look at this pistol, because this is probably the most beautiful gun that I own. I really just love the way this thing looks with the 2-tone or 3-tone finish, of the blued slide with the stainless steel frame, the wood grips. This thing is just gorgeous, and it has all the features that I wanted in a 1911, which is why I sold my mil-spec 1911 and able to afford this, and I am very happy with it now. Just having that beaver tail makes it such a more comfortable gun to grip. You can get a much higher grip on it, and having the extended safety there gives you a good ledge for your thumb to be on. Normally you would use that to control recoil, but considering that this gun has almost no recoil, you almost don't need it, but it is nice to have it there. The sight picture is really nice, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous gun, and I am very happy with it now. So I had to make this video and the last video about this pistol for a couple of reasons. For one, I have to be honest with you guys. As much as I didn't want to make the video about this gun malfunctioning so much, I had to do it and be honest and show you guys what was truly going on with it, in case you're considering getting the Springfield Ronin. But I also had to make this video just to be fair to Springfield and to the Ronin, because it seems like that was just kind of a break-in period. The gun seems to be running just fine now, just like every other Springfield 1911 that I've had experience with, and there's been a few. I have put a ton of rounds through this Springfield TRP with very, very little issues, and I'd put even more rounds through my Springfield mil-spec 45 ACP, which, like I mentioned earlier, I actually sold and able to be able to afford this gun. But I didn't have a single malfunction with the mil-spec the entire time I owned it. So my experience with Springfield 1911s has been overall very positive. And that's why it was such a surprise to me when I had issues with this at first. But I'm very happy to say that the gun seems to be working great now. If you are in the market for this Springfield Ronin, you will not find a softer shooting gun about anywhere. Of everything I've ever shot in my entire life, pistol-wise, this thing has the most minimum recoil that you could possibly imagine. When I took it out on the 4th of July with a couple of friends, we had a lot of different guns out there with us. And all three of us, kind of went around the group of guns and shot them all. And everyone agreed when shooting this, they're like, this thing has no recoil. This is the softest shooting gun in the world. And that's a good thing for a lot of reasons. For one, it makes quick follow-up shots very easily. When your sights are barely getting disturbed at all, you can get back on target very quick and follow up your shots very fast, especially with such a short, crisp, light single action trigger. It just makes shooting this gun well very easily. So it's an extremely easy gun to be accurate and fast with. And it just feels fantastic in the hand. The trigger is fantastic. The aesthetics are fantastic. There is nothing about this gun that I'm not over the moon about, except for those. So it wasn't the first 50 rounds. The first 50 rounds went just fine. But the next 100 rounds after that, when I was trying to film this video about it, right after I first bought it, had a lot of issues. But since then, the thing has performed almost flawlessly since then. One little malfunction with the arms core. Seems to be doing great with this PMC ammo. And so I'm buying a lot of it. Because I really love shooting this. And I've been shooting a lot more 9mm just in general lately. I bought this, and I also finished not 100% finished, but I'm just about done with my 9mm EPC 9 build, Aero Precision, and I have a video coming very soon about this, maybe a couple of videos, because it's not quite done yet, but as you can see, it's very close. So that video will be coming soon. Love me some 1911. Oh, this is just a joy to shoot. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do follow the channel, I hope you're as happy as I am that this Ronin has turned out to be a reliable gun. Do I trust it to be a defensive firearm yet? Not quite yet. It's going to take a lot more rounds for me to get over what initially happened and how many times that I had malfunctions, because that's something that you don't want to happen in a defensive situation. And as you can see, I've got plenty of firearms that I can trust to be defensive firearms if I need them to be. So until I've put a lot more rounds through this, and I know for sure that it was just kind of a break-in period, that the gun just had to kind of smooth their parts out and get to where it needed to be to run reliably, then I can start trusting it like that. But for now, at least I know I can go out to the range and have a lot of fun with it, and that it is running reliably, which is a huge relief. So like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you like 1911s as much as I do. They're some of my favorite guns, probably my favorite pistols. And I really like Springfield 1911s. I think they do a fantastic job. You get a lot of gun for your money. You know, this is about a $1,000 pistol right here. This one's about $1,400. And for that price, you get pretty much like a custom 1911, although they are production guns. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Sawtooth Tactical greatly appreciates that. Please leave me a comment on your experience with the Springfield Ronin or any of their 1911s or any other 1911s. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you like this video, please drop me a like. Please share this with your friends that would enjoy this kind of content. I have an Amazon affiliate link down below. If you click on that, any regular Amazon shopping you're already going to do gives the channel a little kickback. There's also a Patreon down below. If you would like to join that, that is the easiest way to support the channel and is greatly appreciated. From Sawtooth Tactical, stay strapped or get clapped.